Welcome back to Football Daily. It's lovely to have you, and it's lovely to have Squawka Dave.
Hello.
Artist formerly known as, and Adam from BlueMoonRising TV.
Nice to be back. Hello.
What kind of stuff are you doing on BlueMoonRising TV? Whilst it's the off-season?
Talking about Raheem Sterling every minute of every day.
God, that must be terrible.
There you go.
Shihab Sheikh, I want to say, or Sheikh. Shihab Sheikh. It's a good name. Do Man City need to reshuffle their midfield? This kind of plays into the Sterling question because he's part of that midfield but just ahead of it. So what do you think?
I'd say yes, automatically yes. I think when we won the league, not last season, obviously the season before, Fernandinho and Toure in the middle, we'd built that 4-4-2 system and it worked. We got found out last season massively. 4-4-2 failed us completely. And then going back to a 5, Fernando isn't up to it. For me, unfortunately. Lampard's gone now as well, so that's 2 spaces there. We need the player to sit alongside Toure and Fernandinho.
Well, Sterling's the man.
Well, yeah.
He's a lovely sitting, holding midfielder out there, isn't he?
I think we've just missed out on a big one with Kondogbia.
Yeah.
I think that he was a shoe-in for that kind of player. I don't think we're going to sign Pogba if we're being realistic.
What about Schweinsteiger? Why aren't you going for Schweinsteiger?
Because I don't think we would. I don't know why. I think I want Verratti. I don't think he'd come either. It's going to be a
Dave's like, not getting him either, mate. Don't worry about that.
And then you come to De Bruyne, which is the big one.
I'd say, yeah, definitely. I think the problem with City's midfield last season, as you mentioned, is Yaya Toure still doesn't have a partner.
Yeah.
I think you need to change Yaya Toure's staying now. Obviously, all that stuff came. I think you need to convert Yaya Toure back to a holding midfielder, controlling the play from deep. You need someone energetic alongside him. Kondogbia would have been perfect for that. Verratti is an excellent player. You know, he's completed loads of passes. He's brilliant. We've seen the Champions League how he ghosted past players. He was so brilliant at that. But I can't see him leaving PSG. He's got a big contract. They're building something there. He's probably going to stay there a few more years. Kevin De Bruyne is another interesting one. He isn't going to be a midfielder that will sit next to Yaya Toure. He's an attacking midfielder. It's where you're going to fit Sterling. I think Sterling will probably come in on the right for Navas.
I agree.
And then you'll probably have, KDB will be an excellent signing.
I think if you're going to do that, I think that Toure, I think what he lacked last season was trust.
Yeah.
I don't think he trusted whoever was beside him, so he couldn't do what he likes to do, which is play from deep and then get forward and know that someone's going to be covering.
So that's still in midfield 2, essentially.
We need a 2 with 1 in front, basically, I'd say.
So with a De
Bruyne would be lovely.
And what number would you call De Bruyne? 10 or
He's
11?
10, isn't
De Bruyne's a 10.
He's a 10. Jovetic is going to go. That's 1 that's gone. So that frees that up. Silva, I think, will play on the left with Sterling on the right.
And then Aguero through the middle.
And
what happens if Aguero gets injured? Are you then moving Sterling more centrally? Or
who knows? We've got different options. We've got Boney, and I don't think Dzeko's
Boney, of course.
We've got Boney who can then sit in there, which would obviously change things because he's not as dynamic as Aguero.
Yeah.
But I think if we can find that player to sit with Toure and Fernandinho, I think it's just going to solve a lot of problems from last season.
I think Mancini's had you up a bit because he's just signed 2 players that could have fit perfect there, Kondogbia and Imbula from Marseille.
So then, that's a really good point, isn't it, Dave? Is we're looking at what Inter are doing at the moment and what Mancini can do there.
So we got from LA Monster, 24. Great name.
Is that LA Monster or La Monster?
Oh, I don't know. It could be La Monster, 24.
I think you imagine him. I don't know, maybe he's not old enough to say that, but you do sort of imagine him coming in a room and being a bit like, it's La Monster, guys!
La Monster, stand
Hit
back,
me with the
here we
Jaeger
go.
bomb!
So he's asked, can Inter Milan get back into the Champions League? And I am going to say a resounding yes.
Yes.
100 million%. These 2 signings that we mentioned
a lot of percent.
Are pretty brilliant. You know, Imbula, he's such a combative midfielder. He's won more duels than any other midfielder in Europe's top 5 leagues.
Rubies.
So that's tackles, beating players on the floor. Winning aerial duels. He's a fantastic combative player, but then he also can dictate play. For Marseille, he sat in front of their back 3, back 4, depending on what Bielsa fancied that week, and he just stroked the ball around. He was brilliant. He's a little bit like Yaya Toure. If I was going to compare him to a player, Yaya Toure. And then now they've got Kondogbia. What are Man United doing? What are City doing? What are Arsenal doing? This player that's so energetic, so strong. There was a moment in the Champions League against Arsenal. He plays for Monaco where there was 4 Arsenal players around him, and he just literally made them explode with his strength and his ability on the ball.
And that's fantastic. The Inter have got those players.
Yeah.
But as you say, why is Inter attracting that type of player? Because essentially I see them as a bit of a faded power.
I read that the reason that Kondogbia went, because apparently he was linked to AC, and Mancini got on the phone and said, look, who did you watch when you were growing up? And he said Inter. And he's played the history card, basically, that this force that has faded can be brilliant again with a few signings, and I think they can.
They've got money as well.
Yeah.
They've been taken over by, I think, a Malaysian businessman again. Exactly. More money coming into the game. And you look at what they've got this season. They signed Shaqiri in January. Forget about that. A brilliant young player. Well, coming 24, it's his time to shine
Again,
now.
though, what's the Premier League doing missing out on things like that? Although there is a link between Germany and Italy.
Icardi as well.
Icardi, top scorer last season. Perfect. If you can get them all playing together, they probably need a left midfielder. I'd say they need a left midfielder, and then they're pretty sweet. Two really good holding midfielders, top striker, half decent defence, a really good goalkeeper in Handanovic. Definite Champions League. I'd say they're going to challenge for the title.
I was going to say, is it a challenge for the title?
I'd say so.
Omid Kaya says, what are your thoughts on Petr Cech's transfer to Arsenal? That's an interesting one, isn't it? Because apparently he's gone for around 11 to 15 million, which seems a really reasonable price for Cech. What do you think?
I think it's a brilliant signing. I think it's absolutely brilliant for Arsenal. Not great for Chelsea, but it's a strange one for Chelsea. He was always going to leave, but letting him go to Arsenal, albeit that maybe his family wanted to stay in London, but letting him go to Arsenal might come and bite them, basically.
Let him go to QPR. Yeah, let him go to a club who aren't going to
challenge. But I think he's brilliant. He's got so much left in him as well. He's probably one of the best we've seen in the Premier League.
Still in his peak, essentially.
Oh yeah. He's 33, is it?
Yeah.
He's got years he's got years in front of him, and Arsenal now are probably only 2 signings away from a proper title challenge.
Well, this is what Poet said on Copper 90. If they get a good striker, he's going to put a grand down for them to win the title.
That's not the hole they're filling. They need to they need a centre half, and they need a box-to-box midfielder / holding midfielder. They need a Matic signing to sit in there to be so powerful and dominate games, and they need a centre back that isn't the likes of Mertesacker. They basically need a Koscielny partner in a way. But Cech, fantastic. I think it's 162 clean sheets since he's been at Chelsea. He's obviously got the clean sheet record for one Premier League season.
He did have John Terry and Carvalho. He did have John Terry and Cahill in front of him.
I think it's a unit, isn't it? I think that's the key to any defensive pairing. I think that's why this other centre back is so crucial because it's those 3 players, the 2 centre half and your goalkeeper. They've got to be at the best. I think you can get to the Premier League. You can get to about probably top 4, 5th, 6th, 4th. Without having a top quality goalkeeper, but to get to the top, to win the league, you need a top quality goalkeeper. We've seen it through the years. Liverpool last season, where they pushed City so far, the goalkeeper potentially cost them that title with potentially a few mistakes.
But also with what Cech brings, will he make them more of a unit? Can he make the guys ahead of him?
He's a leader as well.
Definitely,
exactly. He's very vocal. I think I completely agree that they need to replace Mertesacker. That's got to be key to them because if he makes mistakes, you can't call on Cech week in, week out to save them. He's going to improve them massively, but it's down to the other signings, I think, for them to push on.
We're going to go to, these are great names. Timu Salo says, would Ramos be a good signing for Manchester United? So many headlines about this. I'm sick of hearing about Sergio Ramos. I like him as a player. I think he'd be an interesting signing for United.
I tell you what, he's got a great PR team getting him a new deal.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he really has.
They're getting him a great deal at Real Madrid. I tell you.
Well, when did you see the wage figures that came out? I think Benzema's paid more than him, 7.5 million euros a year. Bale's on 9 million euros a year. Ronaldo's on 21 million euros.
Signings.
But hold on, 21 million euros, and Ramos is on 6 million euros. Yeah, you could potentially say Ramos is such a key cog to that side that he should be Ronaldo, then Ramos. In my eyes.
And would you put £1,000 on that?
I'm not going to put £1,000 on it.
Okay.
It could be one of the weirdest deals ever.
Yes.
If United pay £30 million plus De Gea for Sergio Ramos, would be one of the.
Is that what the deal is being spoken about?
Yeah.
Wait, sorry, they're valuing Ramos above David De Gea.
Plus £30 million and De Gea.
How much does that make Sergio Ramos worth?
No, potentially 50 mil, something like that. I don't know.
But David De Gea for me is worth if Sterling's worth that, and then you've got to say, that's ridiculous.
Your mind blown.
Well, yeah, because De Gea is Spanish, so there's a Spanish premium on this, surely. Yeah.
Let's sell it back to
Let's sell it back.
Yeah, sell it back.
Yeah.
Someone tweeted before.
Shit, Madrid.
Someone said before, it's like going into the shop, asking for a Snickers, giving 30p, and then giving an extra 50 quid on top.
Oh, cheers, lads.
Ridiculous. But
I don't know.
Would he be a good signing for United? Yeah.
100%. I'd say he's top 5 centre-backs in the world. You look at PK, Mascherano, Chiellini, and potentially Boateng, John Terry around that thing. They're the top players. You look at what he did last season. Ramos scored some massive goals. Phil Jones is definitely not up there anyway. So Ramos last season, Champions League semi-final, away at Bayern Munich. They got a 1-0 lead from the first leg. Ramos scores 2 goals in the first 30 minutes. Absolutely massive goals. And then what does he do? He saves Ledesma on the 93rd minute in the final. Incredible. And that was his drive, his passion. I think that's what United have lacked, is a leader, someone that is just brilliant at defending and can be a right shithouse and can wind people up and can really get in people's heads. That's what Ramos gives you.
As always, thanks to you guys for joining us. Squawka Dave.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Thanks for watching, guys.
Yeah, thank you for watching.
Thank you.
And of course, if you want to go subscribe to BlueMoonRising TV.
Thank you.
Or
Thanks for having me back.
Sterling Rising TV.
Sterling Rising TV for the next few weeks.
Yeah. Anyone else?
Pogba Rising TV.
Oh, there you go, yeah. Can you imagine if that's what you guys did? You just
Blue Moon Pogba.
Blue Moon Pogba TV.
Blue Pogba TV.
Yeah. Imagine if he was painted blue. He'd look incredible. Anyway, thank you very much for joining us. We'll see you again soon. That's football.